I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And Gritty.
And this is Midwest Mike's coming back at you exactly 1 week from when we did our last show. So, 2 in a row. We're getting more consistent in the new year. We're going to stick to this schedule of recording on Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. So, set your watch by it.
Set the atomic clock by this schedule right here, man.
The winter solstice, the spring solstice, whatever you want to call it.
Everything.
We got it locked in.
Yep, so here we go. All right, we are going to just jump right into it. The XFL kicked off last weekend. As we record, it is the 22nd, so these games were the previous weekend. First time since 2020, since the XFL has been back. COVID kind of killed it not the first time, very first time. A bunch of stuff killed it. But in 2020, COVID kind of killed it, just like COVID killed everything else.
Yep.
And I was sad to see it go then in 2020.
Yeah.
I was actually enjoying the AAF and the XFL at the time. But here we are. It's back. So overall, before we get into each kind of individual game, we'll talk about a little bit. Overall, I loved it. I thought the XFL, the presentation on TV was fantastic. The games were entertaining. We were talking, I really liked the kickoff rules because it keeps the kickoff relevant, but yet it also helps protect guys from injury. So what are your guys' overall thoughts kind of on the XFL weekend?
Overall, I thought XFL was entertaining. And I think that's the most important thing about it was besides the Roughnecks game, I think all the other games kind of came down to it. I had money on, I think, two or three of the games, and they came down to like last-minute covers or whatever. So I thought it was good. You get to see some guys that had been in the NFL. Some of the names come out and play. Interesting enough to see Paxton Lynch getting benched again. That dude's just not good. He's just not good, which takes a lot into account that John Elway drafted him to be the next guy in Denver, and it didn't end up working out. So it's kind of interesting how that goes on. I also say, I was talking to Gary about it earlier. One of my favorite highlights was I saw the A.J. McCarron post-game interview that I thought was really touching when he talked about playing in front of his family and keeping it going and showing his boys like what it's like to play and win and be a man in the game and stuff like that. So I enjoyed The Rock being out there giving his speech. I thought it was good. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints. It's football.
Mm-hmm.
It's football, and you're seeing kind of the cooperation between the NFL and the XFL. The Rock was adamant that he was willing to make this league kind of like the minor leagues of the NFL. We saw tons of former NFL guys play this past weekend. It was a blast kind of to see them all back out there. A lot of the guys, we knew who they were before they even got on the field, and then it showed. But just seeing, like you brought up, Gary, the kickoff rule, loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it brings the kickoff back. We've already talked about that. It brings it back into relevance. It gives the return guys the opportunity to break a big play, kind of get your team back into it. And then the other things were that we saw in the Battlehawks game. The 3-point play came into effect, which they were successful in getting that, and then
the 4th and 15.
Follow it right up with the 4th and 15 onside kick play, quote unquote onside kick play, which we heard the NFL and the CBA were talking about trying to get that. Or the Players Association, I apologize, trying to get that passed as a possibility as well. I thought that was entertaining, and that's what led to the Battlehawks getting that win. They were down
12.
They were down 12 with a minute and 15 seconds left, minute 20 left.
Yeah.
Scored a touchdown, went for the 3-point conversion, went for the 4th and 15, got the ball back, scored, ball game.
I
thought those were things that, because of the entertainment value, that the NFL is exactly that. It's an entertainment business.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was absolutely worth watching and seeing. You know, so I'm pretty excited. You know, I think they have a game tomorrow night, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thursday night game.
So that's going to be. It's going to be fun to watch again. Just kind of see if it holds that same.
Yeah,
level,
'cause
that same
it's
standard.
still the shiny new thing.
Yep, because there were quite a few fans in the stands
pretty
this past weekend.
decent. Yeah,
So I
pretty
think
decent.
we'll kind of go through the scores here. The Renegades, which are out of Arlington, opened up the weekend, played the Vegas Vipers, and the Renegades won that 22-20. I think I saw attendance for that game was like 12,000 and some change.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which
impressive.
is a pretty good number. Same thing in Houston, down in Houston with the Roughnecks, 33 playing the Guardians, only had 12.
It's
That
about
was the
time.
one blowout of the weekend.
It's about time Houston has a football team.
Yeah. You know, so that was kind of the one blowout of the weekend. But again, I think I saw attendance was between 12 and 13,000 on that one. And then you had obviously the Battlehawks defeating the Brahmas 18-15, which we talked about. They were down 12 points with a minute and some change to go and came back. Very exciting game. And then the DC Defenders went up to Seattle and came away with a win against the Sea Dragons, 22-18. Now, down in San Antonio, they had the biggest attendance of the weekend, and that was like 24,000, you said, Austin?
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's really promising.
really good. It's higher than anything the USFL did last year.
Yeah.
And it was like it was the highest crowd for either the XFL or the USFL since XFL in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When it was
And-
the initial
And
XFL when it was violent.
Well, the second
Okay.
that XFL, the 2020 one's the second XFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that was actually going pretty well up until COVID hit, and then we got that. One thing that's cool is you can watch the DC fans are really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were throwing lemons on the field.
Oh man, they
took away the beer snake.
Shirts were off
because they
and-
took away the beer snake.
Yeah.
So they had that beer snake 3 years ago. That was really cool. And then they tried to do it again, and basically
The security took it away.
the no fun police took it away. Which I actually don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why
they
either.
would do that. Like, what's the point of
Maybe
taking that away?
it's for the same reason that all the Kansas City people are talking about. They should have been better role models during
No,
the Chiefs parade.
I think that's we could talk about that later, but I think that's a very small minority.
Yeah.
I really do.
But yeah, so I mean, I enjoyed the first weekend. It's got me excited for the second weekend, which Gritty mentioned kicks off tomorrow night with the St. Louis Battlehawks traveling to Seattle to play the Sea Dragons tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I will be rooting for the St. Louis Battlehawks in that. Obviously, you know, with Freedom there, you know, I'm going to be rooting for him and rooting for that team. But
Might have to make our way down there to go to a game.
yeah, we've kicked the idea
we talked
around.
about it. Go on a weekend.
That'd be a
yeah.
blast. I mean,
Go.
and there's good food in St. Louis, so
Yeah,
What's the where do they play
they
at?
play in the Dome, I think.
Oh yeah,
At the Edward Jones Dome.
yeah.
So we can get a room right downtown there,
and
and
then just go to the game.
Yeah,
I'm 100%.
then they got the party district right there to hit
Yep.
up after the game. And I'm
Yep.
sure,
and then drive back on Sunday.
yeah. I mean, you know, last year, me and you went down with Tony to the USFL in Birmingham. Had dinner with Freedom one night.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure he'd have, you know, as long as he had time. I don't know what their travel schedule is, like when they travel in and out, because they're in Arlington all week as they practice, and then they fly the two teams that are playing in whatever city to their
And they
home
fly
cities.
them out there
They fly them there
so
for the
they
game.
keep them all
in the same
Arlington.
spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
fly
they're
them
all, which obviously is a money saving measure,
right.
This is not a bad idea.
Which is kind of like it's kind of
Probably something they learned from the COVID year.
yeah. They
You just
branched
think you
out.
That might cost money to send teams back and forth.
Yeah, which is why last year the USFL did all the games in Birmingham and all the practices were in Birmingham.
Yep.
Whereas this year they're expanding their locations too, so they kind of have hubs.
When you have success in the entertainment industry, then the next year you obviously want to try to expand. You want to put your hands in multiple different pots, and that probably will drive up, ratings. It'll probably drive up the fan experience, and ultimately that drives up your revenue at the end of the day. So,
and with sports gambling kind of being mainstream now, obviously that helps too. They kind of embrace you mentioned that earlier. They embrace the gambling aspect of it. They've got their over/under posted, on
during
the scroll bar during the game at the bottom, and they've got what the closing line was for the game. So, and I don't mind that. I mean, obviously I'm a sports gambler, so I made money on 3 of these 4 games, but it was a good weekend.
That is a good weekend. Made money on 3 of the
3
4
of the
games
4.
And had no idea what was going to be to be expected.
I mean, really, like what Gary talked about, we were betting on quarterbacks and coaches.
Yep.
That was it.
I looked at who's the head coach, who's the quarterback.
Who's the head coach, who's the QB. You go with that, and then with St. Louis, we kind of more or less kind of bet also. I mean, a little bit of a homer pick with Freedom, but actually I liked the pick also. So I mean, it wasn't too big of a stretch because AJ McCarron, he's a NFL guy. I mean, he was in the NFL. I mean, it's not like some has-been. He's a national champion,
right?
So it's kind of easier to bet on him also. So
yeah,
I mean. Overall, I was talking to Christy about it, and I was just like, man, I really, really hope these guys. It's just a slow, steady pace of a little bit more viewership, a little bit more. You don't have to come out. I think McMahon, the first year he did XFL, way back, 90. I don't know when that
99, 2000.
Yeah, I think that was very, very almost too ambitious the way they did it, and the market wasn't there yet. These guys kind of know, like, hey, our market may not be here yet, so we need to kind of take it easy. We need to be solvent.
2001, February 3rd, 2001. The XFL originally kicked off.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that. And I think one thing they did was they learned, like, this is like a 3-year deal.
Yeah. And
so we got to be solvent, and we need to, it's going to take time for us to hit that mainstream and stuff, So far, so good, man. And think about The Rock. I mean, besides a few of his earlier movies, is there any? I mean, has this dude really failed at anything in the last 15 years?
No.
And I like that he himself was in the shoes of these players, 25, 30 years ago.
Right.
A guy that coming out of college wasn't quite good enough to play in the NFL, but still wanted to play football. And, obviously he went to Canada and, that didn't work out for him either. But I think he did all right in the pro wrestling world.
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
Entertainment. But,
it kind of got his brand.
Yeah.
It didn't kind of. That's where his brand has come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people, you start asking younger people now, where'd The Rock come from? You will not hear anybody say the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah.
You won't hear anybody say that.
And, I mean,
you won't hear anybody say anything about the Canadian Football League.
No.
It'll be, a lot of them will probably say movies like this. Oh, he's an actor.
Yeah.
Well, he is an actor. But all of his stuff really took off with the rest of his wrestling career.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he lost his job at Miami to a guy named Warren Sapp. So... I don't know. He didn't lose it to just
maybe he's
Johnny
Nobody. Is he a
Nobody.
Hall of Famer?
Yeah. I think that football
Possibly.
thing worked out for him too. But anyway, XFL, great opening weekend.
One more thing on the XFL. What y'all think about the broadcast? You mic'd up. You hear everything.
I thought it was good.
The
I thought
rules
that was good,
officials
too.
right there.
I really liked that you hear the replay official. You hear his thought process.
Yes.
I'm looking for this left hand. Is it under the ball or is it on the side of the ball? So I enjoyed that, which I'm kind of a nerd on that stuff.
Think about that. We're huge NFL fans.
Yeah.
The 3 of us, for sure. We watch the NFL religiously. I don't care if the Chiefs are playing. I don't care if Dallas playing. I don't care who's playing. If the NFL's on, it's being watched.
Yeah.
Okay? How many times this year did we watch games when we're like, can we just get an explanation?
Yeah.
Like, not over the microphone, but Can we get an explanation? Like this is the only guy talking. Let's hear what he has to say, especially like watching on TV. How many times were the mics cutting out this year? How many times would I'm like, can we not upgrade this? Because
And
I
why-
watched XFL do it last weekend and it was fantastic.
And why can't the NFL have that guy who's reviewing the play in the booth in New York or wherever
they
it
ain't
is?
gonna do it.
No.
But I'm just saying.
Why can't-
I would hope so.
He's right. I mean, they had well, I can't think of his
It was
name.
Dean Blandino,
Yes,
who used to
Was
be the
there-
head of officials.
Head of officials did every game, and he's sitting
Yep.
right there, and he's like, "This is what we're looking at. This is how this is going to go.
Can you give me this angle?
I need this angle. I need this angle. I need this angle, and I need them to be on the same time slot."
Yep.
And blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yes, I need to see the replay war room. That is what I need to see because that gives you the insight of how hard it is. First off, and then when he's like, "Oh, I need 6 camera angles, and I need them all to be on the same loop." But these guys on the field have to do it with just their 2 eyes and trust what they're seeing to make calls in a moment's notice with some of the best athletes in the world.
And it does happen really fast in the NFL. And
I'm
so,
sure it happens super fast in the XFL than the college football.
And I mean, it is hard for those guys to make those bang bang calls. But I didn't feel like the replay slowed the game down at all.
Nope.
No, I didn't.
And
The
you still
quick
got-
the what they call it
Quick replay,
The quick replay where they just adjust
you
the
look
ball
at
and-
it in the booth real quick and go, "Hey, you spotted that wrong. It should be a
Loved
yard
it.
back."
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think that happened in maybe that it wasn't the Renegade. Maybe it was maybe it was the Battlehawks game.
Yeah,
They
Yeah, maybe
running
so,
a running
yeah.
back dove, but his knee hit the ground, and they spotted the ball where he was at, and they just
and it wasn't a
replayed-
full
they just-
review. They
Yep,
just
the radio down. Dude ran in, moved the ball back. Everybody moved back. Let's play.
Yep.
It was like
Perfect.
that's what I want to see.
It's good, and they got a good. I really too. I think they got a great group of coaches too. I guess some of the guys, I'm like, dang, that's a good group. The whole thing has a bunch of great guys and great minds behind it. It's not like sensational or crazy or over the top. It's just a great football program.
It is.
Like the game, I think like the games were good, and it just. It's like the first we talked about the first time McMahon did XFL in 2001. It was crazy.
It was
like,
rushed.
Dive. You got two
It
guys.
was wrestling
Two guys got to run after the ball to try to get
and hitting each other head on to get it.
No. So this thing's like, hey, we're gonna play super pro ball. We're gonna get everything correct to the replays. I'm like, man, the NFL could take a page out of some of the stuff they're doing, and really, the NFL may have influence and have offered like, hey, because the Rock, obviously the Rock has said, hey, we want partnership with the NFL. There perhaps there are a little things where the NFL is like, could you try this?
Yeah,
we'd like to
we're
see
thinking about
we'd like to
trying
see
it.
how it works.
Yeah.
And the Rock's like, no problemo.
No problem.
Maybe-
Just write me that check.
Because the XFL making friends with the NFL is the smartest thing you could do.
And that's the one thing like that we saw from the AAF and the USFL. They're trying to be their separate thing. And The
Yeah.
Rock is like, oh, absolutely not. This is a business. Mm-hmm. If I can get in cahoots with the NFL, I'm
doing it.
absolutely going to do that.
Yeah.
We may end up seeing, like in Major League Baseball, rehab assignments with some of these teams. If you can get it big enough, now we're obviously talking about 15, 18, 20 years down the road. But you may start seeing rehab assignments, guys coming back from injuries.
kind of
Let's
minor
just
league
see-
teams. Yep.
Let's just see how it works. Like a McCole Harmon, that would have been a great place for him to test out his growing. That's not the AFC Championship game when it could have been detrimental.
Where's Flash at? Where's Josh Gordon?
He was on one of the teams. He caught a touchdown.
I can't think of the team name.
I don't know. I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find it.
Aaron Murray is the quarterback.
Yeah, he caught a couple touchdowns this weekend.
He did.
Maybe was it St. Louis?
No, because that's McCarron.
No, he plays for the Dragons. They got a pretty cool helmet.
The Dragons. He had 74 yards and a
that
touchdown. Is that Seattle?
Oh,
That might be-
is he for Seattle?
Yeah, that might be Seattle. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah. I mean, again,
They end up losing, but Sea Dragons,
the Sea Dragons.
Yeah, the Sea Dragons, they lost 22-18.
Danucci throwing to
Yeah, Ben DiNucci,
Ben
former Dallas Cowboys.
DiNucci.
Former Dallas Cowboy.
Danucci. Josh Gordon, 6 catches, 74 yards, 12.3 average, 1 touchdown, long 22. This for him is if he looks stellar in it, he's going to get a look.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not even 30.
He's going to go. he's gonna get it.
And I mean, his problem in the NFL was weed,
Yeah.
which
And even-
again, just like sports
for those
gambling,
2 years.
You know what? Even with
weed is getting more and more mainstream.
and his
I mean,
his last team. Well, so he went from us to he was on someone else's roster for a sec after the Chiefs. But
At
for
the
us,
beginning, maybe at the very beginning.
yeah,
of this
I mean,
year.
I don't think he made it. He didn't.
I don't
he
think
didn't
he
end
made
up
it out of
making the
camp.
team, but he made it to like another. Like someone else invited him in. This will be a good chance for him to say, "I still got it. I'm still athletic. I still got hands. Like someone gets hurt, like hit me up."
Yep.
I mean, I guarantee if the Chiefs had 3 or 4 guys, well, that's a lot, but 3 or 4 guys go down a receiver, they would have been like, "Man, he knows our playbook. Like, let's bring him in."
We see it all the time with
Because they never
Giants.
said, and you know what the cool thing about Josh Gordon is, and I'm rooting for him. I want him to come back because I do think the suspension on the weed is too much.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get a chance, but
and it cost him
Chiefs-
2 years, and it's hard to come back from.
Chiefs never said anything bad about this
Nope.
guy. They all like
Nope.
his work ethic, so I'm rooting for Josh Gordon.
How you feel about the challenges?
man,
You can challenge any play, and I like that the coach is mic'd up for the challenge, so
Yeah.
you can hear exactly
The thought
what
process.
he's wanting to challenge.
yep.
You can challenge any play if you see something. It can
As long
be-
as you have a timeout.
as long as you have a timeout, you can challenge any play for anything
Yeah.
in the game.
So you
I
could
said, I
challenge
like
an
that.
offensive holding call if you wanted to.
And you only get one challenge in the XFL.
Yeah.
So
So-
you have to use that challenge
Wisely.
wisely. You don't want to just be on a holding call, in the first quarter of the game.
Yeah.
So it's
know.
a fourth quarter. You save it for your fourth quarter. I think. I mean, coming to a conclusion on XFL, I think it's easy to say we all enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. It was really easy to watch.
It was.
Just super easy, entertaining.
USFL wasn't easy to watch.
No,
Man.
we even. I mean, I'm rooting for it. I hope it stays around because I want spring
I think
football.
they just have a bad time
but
frame.
even just when we went down to the game, like the atmosphere in the stadium, there was probably not 500 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
And
Well,
we-
think about when we went, man.
It was hot.
It was like 90 something.
That's what I'm saying.
degrees.
Like I
This
think they're playing it.
You're in
a
Birmingham,
horrible
Alabama, in the middle
time.
of summer.
Why would you play your summer league during OTAs,
Yeah,
during the on the back end of the draft season? Guys are starting to start training camp. Why would you do that to yourself? I mean, you're asking for it to die.
Yeah.
The AAF did it and started their league in the NFL playoffs. You're asking to be killed.
yeah.
It's the NFL.
They started
Yeah.
toward the end.
The
of
XFL said, you know what? Super Bowl just got done.
People
I think
want
I'll wait a
football.
couple weeks. People want football. I'm going to play a 10-game schedule right after everything gets done for
Yep.
the NFL season.
Yeah, because you're still like, man, because there's no, you go, I really want to watch some football, man. Oh, okay. Hey, even if you're not super tuned in, you got it on in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I
playing-
wasn't.
I had football on all day Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
and it wasn't NFL football.
And it was fine.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't. I'm not. It's not appointment TV for me like NFL is. Like where every week, kind of, hey, this is what I'm doing Sunday at noon. Or this is the game I want to watch. This is the game I want to watch at 3. It's not there for me yet. But I'm sitting at home and I'm like, got some college basketball on. Oh, let's check out the XFL. Like,
Oh, this is kind of entertaining. And, then
yeah.
it gets
And
stuck
like
there.
I said, they're embracing the gambling culture. If you got money on it, yeah, you're keeping track of that game.
yeah, you are.
Yep, all of their commercials was about gambling.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it seems
So,
like.
Smart.
All right.
Smart.
I'm pumped to watch the rest of the season.
I
Me
am
too.
too.
Actually, this week we get a really good game. I was just looking at the slate of games. You get the Arlington Renegades and the Houston Roughnecks.
Ooh,
Both
Yeah,
both
that's-
teams won last weekend.
Yeah, that's good.
You got Bob Stoops
Yes.
yeah.
versus Wade Phillips.
Yeah, that's actually
That's a really good
that's
coaching
stuff.
matchup.
So that'll be
Yeah.
it'll just be a really well coached game.
Yeah, and that's the last game of the weekend. So probably Sunday afternoon, evening.
I love that.
Perfect.
Stoops. I love that Stoops is still involved.
Me too. I love it. And for Stoops, it's probably a no-brainer, because we all know he still lives in Norman.
Yep.
Dallas is 2 hours from there, and probably less on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably fly him back and forth. He could probably sleep in his own bed a couple nights a week and just kind of hang out, and he still gets to coach ball.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to deal with boosters and parents and
And he still loves it, especially when he came back and coached the OU.
yeah, he came back and coached the OU
I
Bowl.
mean, he loves doing it. He just
You know,
he-
That's what he wants to do.
It's him coaching with less headache than he.
And I
he's
bet
never had to deal with.
Wade Phillips is probably kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I get to coach football and have some fun, and there's
And
not
it's
a
not
lot
as
of
and it's
pressure.
not as serious.
And even
That's the NFL.
If Wade Phillips, I mean, I know they're trying, but if Wade Phillips say he lost every game, he's not going. I ruined my life.
Yeah.
He's going. All right, that was fun.
I had fun.
That was a good time.
I had fun.
So, all right, let's talk some college basketball. In the year where no team can stay number one, 'cause you get to number one, you get beat.
Ooh, I was gonna say who's the best team? I don't know.
Yeah. So right now, I'll go through the top 10 here.
Okay.
You got Houston at 1. You got Bama at 2. Kansas at 3. UCLA at 4. Purdue at 5. Virginia 6. Arizona 7. Texas 8. Baylor 9. Marquette 10. So that's your top 10.
The way I was gonna say, the way you know this year is weird is that we have watched Texas, and they're 8.
And sometimes they
And
look like they're 308.
Sometimes they look 308. Other times you watch them and you go, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
On the road, they ain't great. And KU on the road ain't great. A lot of these teams, you go,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with you.
I mean, is there any of those teams I just named that if they won the national championship, you would just be like shocked, beyond measure?
Because no one, I mean, you think about like who they measure up against and go, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if an unranked team won this year.
True.
For real. Just
True.
get hot.
Because even when you get into the next set, Tennessee at
sure.
Tennessee at 11, K State at 14,
Sure.
Indiana at 17, UConn at 18. I mean, it just keeps coming. Iowa State's 23, TCU's 24, and we saw what TCU did to KU and Allen Fieldhouse.
Which I'm going to say this right now. I texted this guy last night. Okay? I don't care who Iowa State plays the next 3 games. I am betting on whoever it is they play. If it's Little Sisters of the Poor, I'm freaking betting on that. Because Iowa State has burned me so many times this year.
Just not going to let it
Where was
happen.
that
to
at?
you
Where was
again.
that? Was that in Texas?
That was at Texas, but Iowa State was plus 7.5. And like I said, sometimes Texas looks really bad. Other times they look really good. Same with Iowa State. I'm like, oh, this should be a pretty even matchup. 7.5. I feel like, that's a good number. No. I mean, they got beat by
They got
20.
busted out.
25.
Man. He is texting.
The
We
thing is-
bet on it, and he's texting me going, "This team sucks." Blah blah. blah. I'm like,
So I don't care. I'm going to find their
definitely
next 3
fade.
games, and I'm betting on the other team.
See, that's why-
fade Iowa State on the road, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, anybody goes on the road. The only team that's been consistent this year, there's obviously Houston,
Yeah.
right?
Which
There's
obviously smaller
Houston.
conference.
Smaller conference, soon to be Big 12. Mm-hmm. Soon to be Big 12.
Yeah, that's
So,
huge.
I don't think they win a national championship, but they have been the most consistent team this
But
year.
you wouldn't be. It's the same thing he's saying. You wouldn't be shocked.
No.
Houston wins. You go, all right. Mattress Mac. That's who Mattress Mac has his money on. If they win, you go, okay.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep,
I don't know.
they're the number 1 overall team that goes into the tournament.
Sure.
At this point. So,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you have 3 conference games left for most of these teams in the top 25. So,
Hey, I will say this: two teams I look at and I go, okay, these are teams that are ranked not top 10. That I think actually, odds wise, I would say, man, I'm taking a look at them. Indiana, for sure. I watched Indiana play Purdue and some of these other tough teams. Like Indiana plays tough and they're coached well. And I'm like, man, they play good at home. They play good on the road. I really like Indiana. The other team is Duke. Duke lost a lot of games early this year with 4 guys out.
yep.
They came in, I believe it's last night, and I'm watching them going. And I'm watching them. They beat the brakes off whoever they were playing. They were supposed to, but I'm watching them going. Oh man, this team is really good.
So-
and since those guys have come back, they're like 11-1.
And you got to remember, it's kind of like an adjustment period, too, right? You lose
New
an
coach.
all-time coach
Yes.
that has coached
Right.
circles in the college basketball ranks, for years, decades. And then you lose him. Some of these guys, It's an organization changer.
Yeah.
So you have to get guys that buy into the new philosophy. You have guys there who are like Coach K, Coach K, Coach K.
Yep.
You kind of get the butting of the heads. You click it out, and it takes time for that clock to start working again. And it happens in any program.
Yeah.
If Nick Saban left Alabama, it would be the same thing. It'd take a little
Be a
bit of
little
time
adjustment.
Yeah,
just
say
to
different guy.
adjust.
It's
Yeah.
just in college basketball, you have more time to adjust because you have more games.
Right.
And you could take a longer process to do it. Yeah,
You're talking about, a Big Ten team winning it. I don't see this year a Big Ten team getting to the Final Four.
Oh man, really?
Purdue's good.
Purdue.
I know, but I have watched a lot of Big Ten basketball this year, probably more than
Not even
I
Purdue?
normally do. And I think it's a down year for the Big Ten in basketball.
That physical nature that Purdue brings. And I think this is a school thing. Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to play Purdue in November in college football either. Purdue can ruin a season.
Yeah,
That's
a
true.
team-
So I think Purdue just has that physical factor. I think they take that Boilermaker mentality and really get after it on the physical side.
Take it serious.
And I mean that's why they're ranked.
Yeah.
They're always physical. They always upset somebody late in the year to ruin a
I
season.
mean, they're 5 right now.
Yeah.
24-4.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're good.
I tell you what I could see, depending on how the bracket lays out. I could 100% see 2 Big 12 teams in the Final Four.
Oh, I definitely could see that.
Not named Iowa State.
Yeah, not Iowa State. They're getting bounced in the first round.
What's crazy? What's so crazy about the Iowa State thing is, if they have the right draw, they could be there.
They stink, man.
I'm just saying.
Terrible.
I'd take a
They're getting bounced
TCU
in
over
first
them.
round.
I'd take Baylor over
Absolutely.
them. I'd take KU.
Absolutely.
K-State.
So
But it's all about the draw.
obviously, we're in the heart of Big 12 country. So
Are we biased then?
No.
I don't think we
I don't think
I don't
so.
feel biased.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
Because I like Purdue. He don't like any Big Ten teams.
Yeah, and I'm an Iowa
Yeah,
fan.
that's true.
And I'm an Iowa fan. That's why I've watched a lot of Big Ten this year. But
And obviously, I'm a Mizzou fan.
yeah.
So I watch
Which
SEC.
I think Mizzou has had a way better year than anybody thought they were going to.
Are they playing in a 8-9 game this year?
Who?
I think they could.
Are they playing in an 8-9 game this year?
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah,
That's probably
they're gonna make it.
that's probably
Yeah.
where they end up.
And they're
8-9.
scrappy. They're scrappy. They can make it.
Where you get out of that 8-9 game and you
They
might
could
be able to
go-
make a little bit of a
Yeah,
run.
they could go Sweet 16. Nothing like, not even close to Final Four, but like Missouri's scrappy.
They can maybe
like,
get out of the first weekend.
It depends. It depends on how they play.
if you,
Obviously, the tournament is all about the matchup,
if you,
right?
Yep.
yeah, if you're slipping, like it's one of those teams. If you're
Because
slipping,
8-9
they'll beat
keeps you right there in the middle of the bracket, which is a recipe for a deep run as long as you play good. Where you don't want to be is top and bottom of the bracket. 'Cause
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's detrimental at that point. But if you're in the middle, 9-8 turns into an 8-12, 9-12 game. You have a chance to work the middle part of that bracket. Then you start getting into like the round of 30, round 32, Sweet 16, and
Get out if you can get out of the first weekend. I think you've had a good
Yeah.
run in the tournament, right? But let's go back. We're Big 12. Obviously Kansas and Texas are tied atop. They both won their respective games since these rankings came out. KU played Monday. Texas played last night. We just talked about that. But those two are the top of the Big 12. And KU on Saturday plays West Virginia at home. I think we're all counting that as a dub
yeah.
Yeah.
for KU at home.
If that was in Morgantown, it might
Maybe
be the other way
Yeah.
because Morgantown's rowdy.
Texas Tech then travels to Kansas next Tuesday, the 28th.
Mahomes will be in the house.
Mahomes probably will be in the house, or
Mahomes-
is he at his house in Texas now? Did
Well,
he
Mahomes
go
will
south?
probably be in the house for that one. He hasn't missed the Texas Tech game in Kansas
So,
since
but
he's been our quarterback. So,
I'm going to give that one to KU.
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah. Tech's not great.
And then you got Kansas at Texas on Saturday, March 4th,
Barn burner.
which that'll be a huge game. Which Texas team shows up?
because Texas, I think, has the harder schedule.
Yeah,
Finishing out.
Let's
They play at Baylor on Friday.
Tough.
Yep, that's a 8-9 game. That's
yeah. It was
they've
Saturday.
ranked it-
Saturday at 1:00.
Saturday.
Texas at Baylor.
Woo!
which is 8-9, right
Yeah.
now. And then you got Texas at TCU
Tough.
next Wednesday.
TCU, because TCU went to Allen Fieldhouse and
Wait,
put
so
a
it's-
throttling on KU.
Oh man, so it's two road games, one home game.
2 road, yes.
They're the opposite. They're the opposite of Kansas.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can go ahead and let me see.
So-
I actually want to
See what the odds are
Yeah, 'cause
on who
I'll-
wins the Big 12.
I'll take KU to win Big 12 based just on the schedule.
But I think
Again, the road,
If my
the team that has to go on the road has the disadvantage, in this
especially in the
situation.
Big 12.
Yeah, because like we talked about when we first started college basketball, nobody's good on the road this year.
KU minus 255.
Ooh, I don't like
Those
that.
odds suck.
Because you essentially got to bet $2.50 to win $1.
Texas plus 175 to win.
So Vegas thinks
What happens
KU.
if they split?
Uh,
What happens if they share it? That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
don't know
what
what
happens.
I don't know if they would just cancel the bet.
I mean, what the heck? They're only doing 2 conference winner futures bets. Pac-12 and Big 12. That's it. On DraftKings. Now, to make the tournament, you have you
got a bunch.
No,
of
you don't. You got 3.
So
They're not
I'm
gonna
going to
win.
go. I think Kansas is going to win it just based on schedule. Having 2 games in Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah, 2 at home, 1 on the road.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's as big of a Big 12 game as we thought Kansas K-State was going to be in football for the last game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this.
But I mean, if Texas doesn't win
It's
both
it's
of
over.
those games
It's over. It's over.
on the road, then it's a moot point, right?
Yeah, it's over. But they
So-
win both of them, and Kansas is going to win both of theirs.
Then you,
That game is
Yeah.
that game is massive at the end of the year because then it won't be a tie.
And at the Big 12 for the tournament, both top 2 teams get a bye, right? Or is
Yes.
it top 4?
So I think top 2 get a bye.
Top 2.
Top 4.
Top four
four?
get a bye for the Big 12
Because
tournament.
it's 4, and then you have the 8 play.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
and then they advance.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. So either way, I mean, is there a chance? Let's see. K-State's third. Is there a chance K-State sneaks in there?
Sneaks in the.
Like the Big 12 title picture?
They'd have to lose.
No.
Well, no, they're 9-6.
I don't think so.
So, I mean, KU
Yeah.
would essentially have to lose out.
KU'd
No
have to
way.
lose out, and Texas would have to lose out.
Yeah.
No shot.
so,
no
yeah.
way, man.
I guess Baylor's 9-6 also.
No shot.
No.
So,
They got. I think Baylor would have a better shot at it since they get to play Texas and they could essentially move Texas down.
move Texas down.
But nah, man, it's gonna be between KU and Texas, and it's KU's to lose.
And Kansas State does travel to West Virginia last game of the year.
Now I'll
so
say this:
that's tough.
Morgantown's so
for
hard to play
the
in.
for the Big 12 tournament. What does your gut say about that? Because my gut says that we won't get a KU Texas winner. We'll get someone else who gets on fire to try to get a higher seed in the tournament.
Who plays good that week in Kansas City?
Iowa State.
Every year.
Iowa State does.
Iowa State.
does. No,
And they have
Because
they
they-
have a huge showing here.
Yeah,
too.
they call it Hilton South.
man.
Yeah,
I
mean-
went one year where they played, and
And
I
if
was
you thought
like,
you thought this was Ames.
I said,
Yeah.
man, I'll tell you what.
They shut downtown down.
I'm sorry, Gary. They have great fans.
They do. They do.
Now they have some delusional fans,
yeah.
but they got very.
Tyler.
But
I should say passionate fans.
but at that time of the year, they're not delusional. They are going into the tournament believing every single year they can win it.
and they
And
play tough
because-
in the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. They
And
did.
the one year they weren't going to be in the NCAA tournament, and they ended up winning the Big 12 tournament
And
and
got
got
in.
a bid.
And
I'm like-
and I'll tell you what, their track record in the tournament
It's incredible.
is better than Texas.
Yes, it's better than a lot of Big 12
You know what I
teams.
mean?
It's
And so
better. It's
like-
better than everybody
it's
except
only-
Kansas.
It's
So
better than everybody except Kansas.
I could see Texas even pulling this Big 12 out, but then getting bounced in the first round of the tournament.
That would be so Texas.
Oh man, I want.
Like, I could see
I'll
that.
definitely look at see who they get matched up against.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
you gotta look if they get matched up against somebody that's
Good
strong
thing is they play at
against-
home.
yeah.
That's the good thing. 'Cause they'll play
Yeah.
at home. Well, no, they won't. They'll be here. So I guess it's
Well, yeah, for the Big 12 tournament,
it's
yeah,
technically
it's
a road
tournament
game.
will be here.
It's technically a road game.
Which I usually try to go down for that Wednesday.
I want to go for something, and they're cheap. The first.
Usually, I like one year I got a $6 ticket to go to the first session.
What the heck? Why not?
Like on that Wednesday night, and I was like, I wasn't doing nothing else. I'm like,
Yep.
all right,
Went
I'll
to
go
3
down there.
games, whatever.
Yeah, went to 2 or 3. I saw Toby Keith because Oklahoma played. I met Toby Keith. Me and Tyler went. I think we saw Oklahoma play somebody, and then we saw West Virginia play somebody. Like, I mean,
Doesn't get no better than that.
So
No.
going down to the Big 12? What's the worst team that you think could win that little tournament? Like going all the way far. How far down can you go till you go? Nope. Probably
For me, nope.
Probably
For me, it's
TCU?
gonna nope. Where you say nope, I was gonna say Oklahoma State is where my line.
You think Oklahoma State's your
right,
line?
right above that? Yeah, so that's TCU.
Yeah, because I
We're on the
don't see
same
I don't
thing.
see West Virginia, Tech, Oklahoma.
We're on the same thing, but Oklahoma
TCU
State has played good this
Think
year.
Oklahoma State?
yeah.
Oklahoma State's played good this year.
I'm probably with you guys. I would probably include Oklahoma State with a chance to win the Big 12
Not
tournament.
West Virginia, not Tech, not OU.
yeah.
No shot. OU,
I really-
Tech would have now. Tech, I think, is the best shooting team
Yeah,
in the Big 12. If they get hot, we've seen shooters go a
they're
long way.
They're going to
in
have to have
tournament.
Mahomes show up.
Yeah.
And give him
like
some
if
magic.
can Mahomes dress for them? Like
He
if
better
he,
not.
He
He
played
better
bad. I
not-
don't even play basketball.
He
I
better
don't
not-
know, but if he
in his
dressed
contract,
for
in his
and just sit on
contract,
the
it's not-
bench.
he just sat on the bench,
Dude, if he
Sprinkle-
sat on the bench, you
Hey,
know that he'd
please.
be over there like, "Hey, coach,
Coach, come on.
coach, put me in." I know you saw me at the
No,
YMCA.
you're a celebrity thing. No. You're a celebrity guest. No, you
You know,
ain't getting in.
Brett Veach would be down there like in a second.
Brett,
That
Be-
is
hey,
social
Brett,
media.
Beach,
hey.
Brett Beach would be sitting in the tunnel like this, looking at him, looking down the way.
In the
Don't
second,
you move.
The second Mahomes' butt came off the chair, Veach would be out there like, nah.
Oh, no.
We good. We're good.
No.
He
Time
calls
to
the
go.
scene. He calls the scene. This game's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
This game's over.
I don't
Oh,
care.
hey, here's Big Ten's seed projections.
So, yeah, Iowa getting a 6 seed. I mean, I see that. Purdue, the only one getting a 1 seed.
Yeah, that's right.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
the
right.
only team worthy.
That's right.
Because they pretty much ran the Big Ten all year.
So I mean, teams that I think should undoubtedly be in the final for the Big 12. I really like Baylor, and I hate Kansas, but I really like Kansas in this manner.
My hate for Kansas has gone away since I started betting them.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
They're
No. It don't work like that.
hey,
it does.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
When they start
You
making
can't be
money,
happy about Nick Bolton saying MIZ at the parade last week, and then start saying stuff like that, Austin.
Why not?
That is not fair.
it's about
We're not
making
doing-
money.
we're not-
That is not fair. That is
We're not-
disrespectful.
We're in the SEC too. I'm like, I don't even.
Hey, so yeah,
I don't
Big
even care
Ten.
about them.
Big Ten, you got Purdue at the top at 13-4. Northwestern is currently in second, 11-5.
Man, a little fraudulent.
Indiana 10-7.
I like the Indiana.
And then you've got Illinois, Maryland, Iowa, Rutgers, Michigan State,
No.
Michigan, all at 9.
I've already stopped who's going to win. Where I think that line could be. I'm going to stop after Illinois.
I'm stopping after.
That could win the Big
See,
Ten.
Iowa. Now I'm a homer, but Iowa could win the Big Ten tournament.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to Illinois underneath. Right before you get to Michigan State, I'm going. Illinois has a chance to win the Big Ten.
Oh, well, Rutgers is right. Oh yeah, because they all got the same record. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So no Michigan State, no Michigan
Nope.
nah.
could win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And you're,
I could. You talking about Big Ten tournament?
tournament.
Oh, I see. On yours, they
Tournament.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
see Iowa.
We all got the same record. So
Yeah, I could see Iowa. Rutgers, no, and then all them other guys, no.
yeah.
on mine.
Man.
On mine it shows Purdue,
I'll be rooting.
Northwestern,
I'll be taking
Indiana,
some-
Iowa,
I'll
Illinois.
be rooting.
Yeah,
for-
'cause
I'll be rooting
then
for Indiana
after-
a little bit.
Because after the top 3, you got a bunch of teams with the same record.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which Iowa's about to play in about 25 minutes to tip off.
Me and Gary got a -1.
-1 at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So I mean, they should handle business.
should handle that business,
But
baby.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with you. There's like 6 teams that could probably win the Big Ten tournament.
Yep. I only got 5. I only got 5 that I think can.
You know, if a shooter gets hot at the right time, but I don't see it in the Big Ten tournament
No,
or the Big 12. I mean, I think the Big 12 is harder to call than the Big Ten.
Yes. There's more teams. There's
more
that can
teams
win it.
that you could see like.
yeah, like if Baylor gets hot, sure.
Like we went all the way down and we eliminated
Even Texas Tech.
we eliminated 3 teams.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
And even Texas Tech, if they
Texas
came
Tech got to
out,
get hot.
if they got hot, because we all know in basketball, like if you get a hot hand for 3 days, 4 days, I mean, and play out of your mind.
quick,
you can make it run the tourney. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
We've seen it. But yeah, so I'm excited. We're getting down to, kind of the final week and a half of college basketball before we get to, Selection Sunday. And then we will actually be able to record you guys a show. Austin and I will. We'll call Gritty probably on that Wednesday before the
Vegas?
tournament starts on Thursday. We'll be in Vegas.
We'll call you and we'll have to do it over call. Unless you wait, you have
Unless I win the lottery by then and then.
Yeah, and then we'll show up.
Then I'll rent out a whole floor of
Let's go.
a hotel down there.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
I was hoping to win it yesterday.
hey,
I was hoping to win it yesterday. That didn't
That'd
happen.
be good.
but and then pray on the 8th. Next week is March 1st. We'll do a show same time. On the 8th, I have a coach's clinic, so probably you two guys figuring it out.
Okay, cool. We'll probably do it up in Raymore.
Yeah, and
Then
then
over at Gritty's.
and then obviously that next week, which is I think the 15th, we'll do it, and then you'll be on the phone. So we'll be in Vegas. We may have had a couple cocktails, so that one might be really fun for you guys to tune into.
Hey, we won't take any betting advice that day.
Hey, I'm gonna have all the bets placed. I'll have my tickets.
I'm all in already, man.
Yeah.
I'll have all the winners. I don't ever bet on a loser.
You win 100% of the time.
No, if the team that I bet on doesn't win, that's not my fault. That's their
That's
fault.
true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
did I tell Iowa State to get blown out by 20 plus at Texas?
No. Nope. Definitely not.
All right. Anything else on college hoops before we? Gritty's got one more subject he wants to touch on here. No.
No,
All
I
right.
think I'm good on
No,
that.
I do have a subject I want to touch on.
You do?
Yes, I want to give a shout out Gritty for convincing us to bet Tiger Woods make the cut.
Yes. Because we had talked earlier in the day, and I was against that. But Gritty
Yeah,
talked us into
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I texted Gary earlier. I said, man, I don't think about it. DraftKings running a boost, plus 200. I like the odds. I don't know. Gary's like, I'm not sure, man. His last few outings not great. This guy's rusty. I don't know. Talked to Gritty last week. Hey, man, that's his course. He knows it like the back of his hand. I know he's old, but he can make the cut.
He played, and to be honest with you, he did play good.
He played fine.
It's just when you get when a guy like that, when you can't really torque off that leg, when you get wayward, you get in the rough, you get in the sand, it's a whole different world that we don't know anything about, right? You watch everybody else get up and down out of the sand and rough, great, fantastic. Mm-hmm. But, he'd go on those stretches where he'd have, 4 birdies and 6 holes, 4 birdies, 3 birdies and 4 holes, and then followed up with a double bogey. Well, now that's erased 2 of your birdies right there. So he was playing that give and take all weekend. Finished real strong. Got me paid on Thursday with the 3 birdies and the last 3 holes. I had him with 4 plus birdies. He got 5.
He was clutch,
on day
man.
1. He was good, and I was like, "Yep, this is looking good." And then when he came out Friday, they played the course backwards. So they started on hole 9,
Yeah.
and finished on. Well, they started on hole 10, finished on hole 9. Just when you play the course backwards like that, because he played those same 3 holes really good on Friday, and then the holes that gave him a problem on Thursday were the holes that he finished with on Friday. Mm-hmm. So then it got you on that teeter-totter a little bit, and then when he finished, he was not above the cut line. He was below the cut line,
Yeah.
and then the course got a little windy, started getting dried out, getting faster, harder to play. Guys started falling back down into the pack, and the PGA does it by score. They base it off a score, how far you are from the leader. But they also have to have a certain number for TV ratings to have twosomes all the way through the day. So when those guys start falling out, Tiger gets bumped back in. The line moves to +1, and
And
he got in. And I think he got like the -4 again, and then bogey. Get started to get tired Sunday.
After watching him on Sunday, I don't like saying this. I think his ceiling is one more major. I think it's none.
That's got to be a 40-foot ceiling.
Or none. Or none.
I mean, it's going to be tough.
I don't see it. I could see now if you told me, hey, he's going to have a tournament where like a weekend he just goes crazy and he wins,
Which is possible.
and I would say,
Yeah.
I believe you. If that's going to happen, I'm not. This isn't crazy. If you would say he does it twice, I'm going to go oof, because
It'd be so.
it'd be like
gonna
Michael.
play- he's
I
gonna
mean,
play
it
6
would have been
tournaments
like
this year?
we agree that Michael, like switching sports, like Michael Jordan's the greatest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that would be like him. Hey, if he got a couple superstars around him with the Wizards, could you see him doing it? Could you see him doing it one time? And you go, if they, say originally when Kobe ended up there, could
One
you see him
time.
win one time? Sure. Could you
Two
see him
times?
doing it
No.
twice? No. And that's where I'm at with Tiger.
And the thing is, so Tiger after the tournament said, "I'm gonna play in all 4 majors this year." Great,
I'm very happy
fantastic.
about that. I want to watch him.
Tiger
Augusta's-
equals ratings. for golf.
Augusta's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
That course is ridiculous to walk. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm not 100% sure where the other 3 are at. I haven't got that far into the year yet because Augusta's number 1.
Yeah.
Augusta's the first major. The Masters, that's what my focus is on. But like the U.S. Open, that rough is going to be 8 inches deep. Is he going to be able to really swing?
Yeah.
And that stuff, is he going to be able to walk through it? I mean, there's just other factors that he has to worry about that the younger guys don't have to. Not saying he's an old man, but when you break your leg like that, where they're talking about amputation and then conservation of life, that's a whole different realm of stuff that we don't even know anything about. So just him getting through 4 rounds on a pretty undulated golf course last weekend was good.
Yeah.
He
But
said
it's
he's gonna
good
play
for
in
golf
4. Oh,
when Tiger plays.
Oh, absolutely. That is golf.
They have to figure out. They have to find another star. Mm-hmm. They got a lot.
They have it.
They have a lot of guys that are really good.
They have it. They're scared to put somebody else on that pedestal because everybody they put on that pedestal has fallen off the pedestal. They put Jordan Spieth on the pedestal 8 years ago.
Yes.
And, I mean, he fell flat on his face. He couldn't deal with the pressure. Justin Thomas, they've tried to put him on that pedestal, but he continues to get beat because he was fighting with Dustin Johnson. They put Dustin Johnson on the pedestal. He left for the live. Mm-hmm. They're scared to elevate those.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. Right? That's a great bag to have.
Yeah.
That money's crazy.
But,
making
but
money.
Speaking of that, Adidas canceled their contract with him this week
with who?
with Dustin Johnson.
Really?
Yep.
Does it matter?
That's a $150 million contract that he lost.
Oh man.
Which, I mean, he's playing in the live, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But Adidas is like, nope, American based. That's what we're doing. We're gonna find another athlete. But I think the PGA would be safe elevating 2 guys, Scotty Scheffler and John Rahm, pit them against each other. That's world number 1, world number 2. They have been for like 40 weeks straight.
Yeah.
I think that's where they got to go. To find your
They got to do something.
superstar.
Because you've got to, in any league, you've got to have your star.
Which is why they try to put everybody against Mahomes.
Yep. Yep.
That's why they try everybody and anybody they try to pin against. Mahomes.
I mean, it's been Brady, it's been Manning, it's been Eli Manning. Now it's Mahomes. Like, you've got to have that guy.
Yeah.
NFL's getting. I mean, and the thing is, too, the NFL's getting pretty lucky with
All these quarterbacks right
man. The next generation is really great.
Yeah.
Mahomes, Burrows,
And
Herbert,
they're looking for that
Hurts.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. That's what they're looking for.
I think the NFL really, for a little bit, it felt like they really, really wanted it to be Mahomes and Allen. And now I think they see
Burrow.
It's going to be Mahomes and Burrow.
It started out Mahomes and Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it went to Mahomes and Allen. And then for like a 3-week span, it was Mahomes and Herbert.
It's going to be Mahomes and Burrow.
Yeah. Which we've got until, speaking of NFL, kind of as we close, March 7th is the deadline for the franchise tag.
It's coming quick.
So we got a couple weeks. Like I said, a week from today is March 1st. So probably 2 weeks then from about 2 weeks from right now.
Can I make a prediction on the AFC
Sure.
South already?
Yeah, I was going to ask. Yeah.
AFC South already?
Yeah,
Tennessee
sure.
has no shot. They've completely fire-sailed. Tennessee's done.
Yeah, they cut Taylor Lewan today.
They cut like 6 people. They cut their best linebacker today. Opened up like $17.5 million in cap space. Cut Taylor Lewan. Cut Robert Woods.
It's the best move they can do.
I mean, they didn't have a choice.
If you look at your roster and go, I can't win a title with these guys, it's time to regroup and have a re-go.
So do you think? I mean, my thing is like we're spoiled as Chiefs fans. Mm-hmm. Can you rebuild that fast, where you're competitive next year in the AFC South?
I don't think that they can.
In the South?
Because you're going to have Indy. Indy's already ready. They just need a quarterback, which I think they get this year in the draft.
But you got Jacksonville.
I'm saying, if I'm Indy, I am going balls to the walls to try to grab Lamar Jackson.
Or Derek Carr.
I'll even take Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, one of those two dudes is getting an absolute payday.
Yeah.
Because Indy and the Jets are both, I think, a quarterback away from being serious competitors.
Yeah.
Because Indy's defense is real. The Jets' defense is real. And the Jets' offense was good this year.
Is it a hot take to think that Aaron Rodgers is going to stay in Green Bay? Because no one's going to want him.
No, nobody wants him. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Who wants to deal with him?
Yeah. They got other stuff on their minds.
And
like they got ring season on their mind.
And I think the cap hit is 50. Who wants that?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Mahomes don't even.
Mahomes is 48 this year.
So one more thing.
Sure.
I mean, I'm seeing it on Twitter, and I'm praying it's not true. But they're saying that the Dallas Cowboys are interested
some kind of Cowboys thing
in C.J. Stroud. That they could trade Dak to Houston for the number 2 overall pick.
You get CJ?
And then take C.J. Stroud. Which, as a Cowboys fan, I hate it because no Ohio State quarterback has done well in the league. So I don't like it. But anyway, just rumor central.
I mean, it's intriguing because you have as it gets closer and closer and closer, and then you'll probably hear more and more of these rumors after next week. The combine's next weekend. You'll hear more and more of these rumors coming out of what the Bears are going to do with the first pick, what Indianapolis is going to try to do with the 5th pick, because there's rumors that they'll try to get a quarterback, trade some draft capital, and then work later in the draft. I mean, I'm totally intrigued to see what these teams do because it's always been, okay, we need to move up to get a quarterback. But this year, the quarterback class, I don't think is that good.
No.
So it's like, well, okay, I can get a quarterback in free agency this year, maybe get him 4 or 5 years, maybe draft a guy later, Brock Purdy-esque, develop him behind this guy, and see what happens. And I can get deeper in the draft and pick up wide receivers. I can pick up running backs. I can pick up tight ends. I can pick up defensive guys.
Do you think that's what's going to happen? Or do you think
I think that's a pretty good.
Someone's going to say, hey, Chicago, I want that first pick because I want Bryce.
I don't know. My thing is, like I said, we're going to see. Now, I don't know if Bryce is going to the combine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because his measurables may hurt him.
I don't know if he needs to.
Well, I'm just saying, like...
Well, who's the other guy?
C.J. Stroud, Will Levis.
Levis.
Yeah, Levis.
I mean...
He's been grading higher.
And because he's a cannon.
Or is this the year where a lot of... I mean, I don't know. I mean, somebody's going to back into it to where they go, I'm looking at Bryce Young at 5 or 6, and I'm going, all right, my QB's okay. Maybe I should go ahead and pick him up.
See, I think there's teams out there that are more angled towards, like Kansas City. If we're moving up that early, we're obviously not taking the quarterback. Mm-hmm. We're taking a receiver or an edge rusher.
No shot we move up that early, though.
That's what I'm saying, but you can go up and get Tyree Wilson. Like, let's say he drops to 8. I'll move up to 8 to get Tyree Wilson. You're an edge guy away. You're a young edge guy away, and you got Karlaftis, and you have a bunch of picks this year, next year, and the year after that because Veach is God.
Yeah, and be ready to move off of Frank Clark.
I mean,
even though playoff Frank Clark is awesome, regular season Frank Clark
Frank is Carlos Dunlap.
So
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So
yeah.
maybe Frank's Carlos Dunlap, you move off of Dunlap, you don't even entertain bringing him back, right? But there's just a lot of things that are gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of stories that come out,
gonna be
especially over the
interesting.
next week because the drafts or the combine starts next Thursday.
If you had to, if you say like someone puts a gun to your head today, like you have to say, hey, where do you think Bryce Young goes? What's the team you think he goes to?
I'm taking him at 1 if you're putting a gun to my head.
So where's he going?
Chicago.
I think Chicago just says, yeah, we're doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't.
Even
and
if they
I
still
think
have Fields?
in a month, in 6 weeks, I don't think Fields is. I guess in 2 months, I don't think Fields is a Chicago quarterback.
So, well, we can get into more of that speculation next week. But I think that's kind of a good place to put a pin in it.
Draft show.
Yeah.
We're gonna be releasing our mock drafts,
Yeah, we'll get some mock drafts up.
or I guess a pre-combine show, not a pre-draft show.
Yeah, pre-combine show
Pre-combine, yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
So we can get into more of that. But I think that's a good place to stop for tonight. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Again, always feel free to interact with us on social media. It's under Midwest Mics, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Let us know what you want to hear about. If there's a topic, a poll, a question you have for us, we will definitely do our best to get it in the next show if you throw it out there to us on social media. If we don't just reply right away with our takes. But anyway, I'm Gary,
This is Austin.
And Gritty.
and this has been Midwest Mics. We'll see you next week.